Imagine this, being born without control over your fate, stripped of rights, living under someone else's will. For many, this would crush their spirit. But for Epictetus, his chains didn't confine his mind. He saw that while the body may be enslaved, the mind can remain free. And through Stoicism, he found a way to help others realize this too. Epictetus was born into slavery around 55 AD, yet his name would come to represent freedom, not of body, but of mind. He was enslaved in the Roman Empire, living under the shadow of a system that viewed him as property. But this man, deprived of physical freedom, developed a philosophy that would change Roman thought forever. At the heart of his teachings is the idea of control. He teaches us that in life there are two domains, what we can control and what we cannot. Most of us spend so much time worrying about things beyond our control, our bodies, our possessions, our reputations, even the actions of others. Epictetus said, "You will find no art or faculty that can analyze itself, except for reason." And reason, he argued, allows us to evaluate our impressions and decide how we respond to the world. We can't control what happens, but we can control how we interpret it. Think of a stressful moment in your own life, whether it's a tight deadline at work, an argument with a loved one, or a sudden financial setback. What's the first response? Anxiety, frustration, maybe anger. But Epictetus would ask, is the event itself causing your distress, or is it your judgment of the event? The Stoic answer is clear, it's our judgment. We interpret a missed deadline as a failure, a conflict as an insult, or a financial issue as a disaster. But it's not the event itself that causes suffering, it's how we choose to perceive it. Today, in the age of social media, this insight is more relevant than ever. Every day, we're flooded with images and stories of people who seem happier, more successful, or more fulfilled than us. We might feel jealousy or a sense of inadequacy. But Epictetus would remind us that these feelings don't come from the posts themselves, they arise from how we judge them. He would encourage us to reflect, what is within my control here? Can I change the post or the success of another person? No, but I can change how I respond, how I view my own worth, and how I engage with the world. One of Epictetus' most powerful teachings centers on our approach to death. He tells us, I must die, but must I die bawling? Death, to Epictetus, is inevitable. It's out of our control. But how we face death and every other uncontrollable aspect of life is within our power. If death comes now, then I will face it now. If it comes later, then I'll go about my life, eat my lunch, and face death when it comes. In today's world, this lesson resonates strongly. We live in uncertain times, pandemics, financial instability, political turmoil. We don't know what tomorrow brings, and that uncertainty can be overwhelming. But Epictetus offers a way forward. It's not about denying the seriousness of these events, but recognizing that they're beyond our control. What we can control is how we face them. Instead of being consumed by fear or worry, we can focus on what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and behaviors. This idea of focusing only on what's within our control is key to Stoicism, but Epictetus took it further. He emphasized that maintaining our character, no matter the situation, is what defines us. Man can put up with anything except what seems to him irrational. But here's the thing, what's rational or irrational is subjective. For one person, taking a job they feel is beneath them might be unbearable. For another, it's a means of survival. The key, according to Epictetus, is knowing your own worth. You are the one who knows yourself, he says. You set your own value. No one else can tell you what your integrity is worth. And if you must sell it, never sell it cheaply. This message is particularly relevant in the modern world. Whether we're talking about careers, relationships, or personal values, society constantly tries to define what's acceptable or worthy. We're often pressured to fit into molds, to live up to external standards, or to compromise our integrity for recognition or success. But Epictetus reminds us you set your own value. The opinions of others don't define you, only your actions do. It's a powerful message for anyone struggling with self-doubt or external pressures. Progress, according to Epictetus, isn't about what you claim to know, it's about how you live. He challenges us with a simple analogy. If you ask an athlete about his physique, he shows you his muscles, not the weights he lifts. In the same way, if you claim to be making progress in life, you should show it through your actions. It's not about talking endlessly about philosophy or success, it's about living it. In our own lives, this means practicing what we preach. If we claim to value patience, then we must demonstrate it in stressful situations. If we value honesty, then we must live it, even when it's difficult. Epictetus warns against putting our purpose in one place and expecting progress somewhere else. How often do we hear people say they want to change their lives, but their actions don't align with their words? Progress requires alignment between our intentions and our actions. But not everyone accepts this wisdom. Epictetus had strong words for those who reject evident truths, the skeptics who refuse to accept reality. He says, if a man objects to truths that are all too evident, it is no easy task finding arguments that will change his mind. In today's world, this rings true, whether in politics, social debates, or even personal matters. We've all encountered people who, despite clear evidence, refuse to see contradictions in their own reasoning. Epictetus didn't see this as a strength. He calls it a deadening of the soul, a refusal to engage with the truth. He critiques those who shamelessly do or say whatever they please in public, mistaking this for strength of character. It's not strength, he argues, it's blindness to truth. And in today's world, where boldness and brashness are sometimes mistaken for integrity, Epictetus reminds us that true strength lies in humility. True strength is the ability to reflect, admit fault, and change. And what about life's challenges? Epictetus believed that difficulties are essential to our growth. He compares them to the trials faced by Hercules. If there had been no lion, no hydra, no boar, Hercules would have had no opportunity to prove his strength. In the same way, our challenges are opportunities. Without them, we wouldn't develop courage, patience, or resilience. This perspective can change how we view adversity. Whether it's a personal setback, a difficult relationship, or a global crisis, Epictetus would tell us to embrace the challenge. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. He asks, why should I worry about what happens if I am armed with the virtue of fortitude? And that's the heart of his message. We already possess the strength to face whatever life throws at us. It's not about avoiding hardship, it's about cultivating the virtues that help us endure. Finally, Epictetus reminds us that we already have everything we need within us. It is silly and pointless to try to get from another person what one can get from oneself. Why seek approval, wealth, or status from others when true greatness comes from within? In a world obsessed with external validation, likes, followers, promotions, Epictetus offers a different perspective. Stop seeking from the outside what you can build inside. And when it comes to others, those who wrong us or do harm, Epictetus teaches us not to react with anger. People who do wrong are simply confused about what is truly good and bad. We use labels like thief, he says, but these words merely signify that people are confused. Should we be angry with someone for their confusion? Or should we pity them and help them see the truth? In our own lives, whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a stranger who wrongs us, Epictetus would urge us to respond with understanding, not anger. After all, the wrongdoer can only touch what's outside our control, our possessions, our reputation, our external life. But they can never touch what truly matters, our reason, our virtue, and our character. Epictetus was a man born into chains, but his mind was always free. His teachings remind us that while the world may throw obstacles, hardships, and confusion in our path, the one thing we can always control is ourselves. And in that, we find true freedom.